If you want to get more done in less time so you can have more time to do what matters most, then make sure you watch to the end of this video because I'm sharing with you how in 2020 I'm using 3 focus sessions per day to do exactly that. All right, let's get into it. Okay, welcome to the video today. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time watching one of my videos, welcome to the community. If you're someone that wants to make the most of your life, build businesses that free you up from that grip that money so easily places over our time, then make sure you do hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on, because I've got plenty of good videos coming your way. Speaking of what's coming up, today's video is a little bit of a shift, a little bit different. If you're one of the OGs, the originals from this channel, firstly, maybe just drop me a comment below. Let me know when you started watching the channel. If it was, like January last year, February last year, March even last year, somewhere around then, let me know, because I'd love to know that you're still with me, that you've been hanging out for that long. And yeah, it'd be great to hear from you. But if you are one of those originals, you'll know that the majority of the videos that I've posted on this channel are related to Amazon. They're related to tips, tricks, tutorials, strategies, and tactics of how to build a profitable business leveraging the $1 trillion power of Amazon. And now in 2020, whilst I'm going to change and adapt a little bit, that's still going to be a clear focus of the channel. That's not going anywhere, because I still believe in the ability for Amazon to launch new physical product businesses like never before. The opportunity to build a brand on Amazon is still incredible. But here's my thing. Amazon is not the end. The goal is not building an Amazon business. The goal is building businesses that make an impact first and foremost in the world, and of course then in your life too, by creating revenue, by creating income that you can actually draw from in your life that isn't linked to the amount of hours you're spending in a job. For me, one of the most frustrating things that I see and hear of is about people that are trading so much of something they can't get back in time for just enough money to scrape by, to pay the bills. Maybe if they're lucky, go on one nice holiday a year. But actually, life is short and the time that you have is so precious. I want to help as many people as I can free themselves from that grip that money places over time and make an impact in their lives and on the world. In fact, it's been so encouraging and so fulfilling for me to see people in our community leave their jobs to be able to focus on their businesses full time, to have the freedom. Someone posted in our private student community recently about how they were making profit whilst at their son's Christmas show, and I'd love that kind of thing, because that's what it's about. It's not so much about the money, but it's about the time, the possibility that creates. Side note, just to be clear, having a job is not the enemy. If you love your job, if you're making an impact with your job, stay in your job. Having a job is not the enemy. Wasting time on things that you're not passionate about, that aren't making an impact in your life, and don't excite you every morning when you wake up, that's what we're working against. And so whilst tactics and strategies and Amazon and all of those things are really important, and I'm going to continue to create content around those things, I also want to create a little bit, just start introducing a little bit of additional content around mindsets and mentalities and the way we think. It's important that we don't just work on our business, but it's important that we work on ourselves as well. Because here's the thing, I think it's a waste of time having money if we don't know how to keep that money. It's a waste of time keeping money if we don't know how to multiply that money and use that money to make an impact. It's a waste of time growing a business if we can't grow it to be profitable. It's a waste of time leaving our job if we're then just going to run a business that only employs us for 60 to 80 hours a week, and if we don't do the work, then nothing happens, because we haven't just started a business, we've just found ourselves another job, right? And so it's important that we don't just focus on tactics and strategies, but we focus on mentalities as well. And at the outset of this year, I know that those kind of videos are not going to get as many views or as much traction as the videos about strategies and tactics. How to think better, or how to structure your time, how to diarize everything better is way less sexy than how to earn 100 grand in a year, right? Like, I get it. It's not as sexy. It's not going to get as many views. But the thing for me is I'm trying to look at this with a long-term perspective. For me, views and subscribers is not what it's about, but impact and real change is what it is about. And whilst tactics are temporary and what works now may not work in 3 months' time, what's going on in here is going to last a lifetime. What's going on in the way we work and the way we structure our lives is really going to help us over the long haul. So I'm going to be talking more this year about that, what I'm aiming to do and hoping to do is do 1-for-1. So on Mondays, we discuss mindsets, and on Thursdays, we discuss tactics. Mondays are all about working on you, and then Thursdays are all about working on your business. And I think when we combine both of those, hopefully, I'm hoping this year, 2020, is going to be a super valuable resource for you on this channel. Now, I can't promise to be uploading every single Monday and every single Thursday. That is my aim, but I can't promise to meet every single one of those. I'm out here running 4 businesses. I'm going to do my best, but yeah, we'll see how we go. So that's the intention, that's the aim, and I'm going to start that off today by talking about something that I've been doing for the last month or so that's really been helping me. It's been helping me because I don't know about you, but I'm so easily distracted. I mean, I'm so easily distracted by a myriad of different things. Chief of all, this bad boy here. This thing here is one of the most distracting devices ever known to mankind. Mobile phones were meant to make us more productive and more connected, but actually I feel like they are working against us in this generation. We're the notification generation. We love to touch our phones. According to one study, the average person touches their smartphone 2,617 times a day. That is insane. That's just an average user. Heavy users will use it more. That is not 2,000 pickups, of course. It's touches, like taps and touches. But still, that is a whole load of distraction. You've got messages, you've got calls, now we've got social media notifications, now we've got news pop-ups, we've got email notifications, we've got games telling us to come back and complete our game, we've got task management systems. There's a bombardment of things to distract us, and that's just on your phone. I'm going snowboarding this weekend, and every 5 minutes I'm thinking, what's the snow report? Is it snowing yet? I want to see what's going on. I'm a sports fan, so I always want to see what scores are going on, like what's happening in the world, and I can so easily get so distracted. And I know I'm not the only one. A Mashable article that I will post a link in the description for. Fascinating read. It reads as like an infographic, and it talks about how amongst a whole load of different stats that are quite scary, to be honest, talks about how distraction is costing the US economy alone $650 billion. Because the workforce is getting distracted so easily by their phones, by notifications, by even supposed productive things like Slack messaging or emails. People are getting distracted, and then when something comes in and distracts you, it takes you a whole bunch of time to get refocused again. And so what happens as a result is that all we ever do is shallow work. We tick off things from our to-do list, perhaps, that are shallow, that don't take much thought, that don't take us diving in to those topics. Whereas if we're going to own a business, if we're going to run successful businesses that grow and impact the world, we really need to allow space for deep work. We need to allow space not just for shallow work, but for deep work where we can move the business forward, where we can really drive ideas deep into the organization and bring about great results. And so I want to look at it more from a top level perspective in this short video today about how you actually work day to day, a day-to-day structure that I've been using in my work process that may actually help you. And that is by using 3 core focus sessions per day. And I'm going to talk you through these focus sessions around 3 core ideas. And the first one is the structure. How do I structure them? Well, what I do is actually break up the time of my day into 3 sessions. The good thing about this is that you can do it based on however much time you have. So I might have 5 hours that I've got to work one day, then I might have 8 hours, then I might have 10 hours, then I might have 2 hours. It changes based on, what clubs I've got to take my kids to, or if I'm meeting people for coffee or doing things, it depends day to day how much time I've got. But at the end of one day, I'll set the schedule for the next day. And this idea, sort of the seed of it, initially came from from Michael Hyatt, who has what's called, he calls the Full Focus Planner. And you can obviously grab one of those, check it out. They are expensive, I think about $60 or $70. So, expensive, especially given the fact that you're supposed to use it up over a quarter, over 3 months. But it's a really effective system for scheduling your focuses. And in that Full Focus Planner, one of the core principles is scheduling your 3 core activities for the next day. And he recommends you do that the night before the next day. So the last thing you do in your day of work is you set it for the next day. And that alone is a really, really great tip that I've really got a lot out of. Because before I would kind of like start the day, look at what I've got on my to-do list, think about how I'm going to get those done, apportion them in terms of priority, all that kind of stuff. Whereas now when I come in and sit down, first things first, I can get something done that's going to drive my business forward. And that's because because I planned the night before. This kind of structure allows me to, the day before I start work, or the night before I start, I've already set the priorities for the next day, and I've apportioned them out into 3 different sessions. And how I manage these sessions, like I say, Michael Hyatt has this planner that you can write them down in, and he has like the 3 goals for the next day. But I don't know about you, a lot of people like to write down on paper, and I get that, that's fine. I like to do stuff digitally. I use Asana, which is like a project management tool for our team and how we manage and run our businesses. But I like to use that personally for myself as well. I think it's got a lot of features that I really love. And so what I've done is I've created tags in Asana, tags that are focus 1, focus 2, focus 3. And if I am having a particularly long work day and I want to break it up a bit more, also focus 4 just in case. And then with those focus tags, what I will do is at the end of the day, I will go into my tasks that are due for tomorrow, the things that I need to complete that next day, and then I will begin to assign them. I'll talk through how I assign them in a moment, but by doing this, I really can set a clear focus for my next day. But also by doing that, it creates flexibility for me so that if I have 10 hours to work, I can divide that up into the amount of time I have. If I only have 3 hours to work, I can do the same. And if I only have 1 hour to work, I can do the same thing. And so this is why I wanted to recommend it to you, because I really feel like it can help anybody no matter how much time they're allocating to their business. So you might be working, an 8-hour shift, and then you want to come home and work on your business, and you think, well, I'm going to allocate an hour. Once the kids are in bed, once everything's sorted, rather than watching 2 episodes of Netflix, I'm going to watch 1 episode and I'm going to do some business stuff beforehand. So I've got an hour. And so then what I would recommend is, you could just do 1 full session for the hour, or you could maybe break it up into 2 sessions, and you say, right, I'm going to focus on one thing for half an hour. I'm going to give it literally everything. More on that in a minute. And then I'm going to have a little 5-minute break, and then I'm going to come back for another focus session. I think by doing this, for me at least, it almost gamifies the whole process. It makes me have like these small targets that I can really go in and absolutely smash over this small period of time, rather than looking at this long period of time that I have to work and think, oh, there's a long list of activities that I need to get through, but actually breaks it up for me. All right, so that's just kind of the structure of how I'm doing it. Focus sessions, work out how much time I've got to work, break it down into chunks. My most common breakdown at the moment is 3 sessions of 2 hours. 3 sessions of 2 hours with half an hour breaks in between. That means I'm doing a 7-hour day, but really there is only 6 hours of work in there. But actually in those 6 hours, I get more done than I used to in an 8, 9, 10-hour day. Probably more than I used to get done in 2 8-hour days. And now I'm repeating that process usually 4 or 5 days a week. And for some of you are thinking, I don't have that much time available, that's fine. I'm running 4 different businesses. If you're just starting out, you can do this with 1 hour per day, break it down into different sections, and then be able to have some real focus over those sessions. After structure, there's focus. What's the focus of these sessions? And I would really encourage you to make sure that when you break your time up and you divvy up the tasks that you need to complete in these sessions, that you focus first only on the things that are going to drive revenue forwards, that are going to grow your business. Gary Vee puts it so well. He says that in our businesses, we've got to stop obsessing about putting up curtains and instead obsessing about pouring concrete. See, so many of us, we want to put up curtains. We want to make a structure that's already been built look pretty. We want to do the final 1% that makes everything look perfect, when what we should be doing is pouring concrete and building structure. And I don't know about you, but I find myself so guilty of this so often. I'm a perfectionist by nature, which doesn't mean that I always put out perfect work. It just means that I struggle with putting out work until I deem it to be perfect. And honestly, it's a plague. I hate it. And it's something that I'm continually pushing against, because deep down I know that if I would take that energy that I'm putting into that 1% return on something and put it into a different project that needed to be built up, that had some concrete poured and some structure built, then I know that I would get a 50, 60, 70% return on that time, as opposed to that 1% over here. But there's something in me that just wants to put up those curtains, wants to make things look nice, when really they don't need to look nice. What they need to be is effective at what they were intended to do. So I want to encourage you to do the same. The focus with these focus sessions is to get the revenue generating activities carried out. And of course, you're going to have little admin tasks, small things that you need to get done. We all do. And so what I would recommend with those is, first of all, in that focus session, say it's an hour and a half, if you get that one major task done in that focus session, then see how many of those little things you can knock off that list before the alarm goes, and then you have your break. and then you're going to feel super productive. If that doesn't work out and those big tasks take longer than you think and stretch over a little bit, then maybe you could allocate half an hour or an hour at the end of the day to complete all of the little tasks. And now, because what happens is if you put them at the start of the day, they just can drift and fill up the day. Whereas if you get those major revenue generating activities done, number one, you're actually going to get a whole lot more done. Number two, your business is going to grow faster, your revenue is going to grow more, which is going to allow you to bring help on, is going to allow you to bring team members on quicker, that's then going to help you with those smaller tasks to then grow your business. Hopefully you understand how that works and why it's so important that we focus on the main things. And finally, it comes to the execution. How do I actually carry this out in the best way possible to make it as effective as I can? Gary Keller, the writer of the book The One Thing, he recently said something on a podcast which I loved so much. He said that you should time block like you're going to the movies. You should time block like you're going to the movies. And what that means is when you go to the movies, you get your popcorn, you go to the toilet before, probably go to the toilet before you get your popcorn. You do what you need to do to get focused for the movie. You know, you go to the toilet, you turn off your phone, you sit down, you get focused in the zone so there are no distractions because you want to watch this movie. And the same should be true for our time blocking. And that's what I've begun to do in my time blocking sessions, my focus sessions, is I say, actually my office is a no phone zone. I don't want my phone in my office while I'm having my focus sessions. And sometimes that's a nightmare if my wife's trying to get hold of me. Sometimes my friends get annoyed because I don't instantly reply to messages. But let's be honest, what's more important, that you instantly reply to a message or that you drive your business forward so that you can achieve those major life goals that you're looking to achieve? So time block like the movies. When you go into a focus session, go to the toilet beforehand. Turn your phone off, put it in another room. I put it in my underwear drawer in my bedroom because it's out of the way. I want it out of the way. I don't want to be distracted. I don't have my email notifications on. So I never get a pop-up on my computer or on my phone when I get an email. I just don't want to be distracted by my email. I don't want my email to control my time. I want to look at my email when it's good for me. And now that's generally a few times a day, and I will continue to look at it and get back to people as soon as I can. But my email doesn't control my mindset, doesn't control my calendar, doesn't control my day because I haven't allowed it to because of those notifications. Wherever possible, turn as many notifications off as you can so that you do not get distracted in these focus sessions. Now, it will be hard at first. It's hard for me. I might go an hour and then something hits my head and I want to go check that, or how are England doing in the cricket, or how's the snow looking in Maryvale? I'm like wanting to look at these things, but I have to then get focused. And one of the key things to instilling a good habit that James Clear talks about in his incredible book Atomic Habits is that he says if you want to instill a good habit, you need to make it easy, and if you want to get rid of a bad habit, you need to make it hard. And so that's the same with these focus sessions. If you want to make it hard to be distracted, remove all temptations, remove all distractions, get rid of your phone, turn the notifications off on your computer, focus in on the things that really matter. Honestly, this has been helping me so much, and I really, really hope it helps you. I would love to hear from you how you manage your time, because this, as you can tell, is something that I'm passionate about and really think can help us, because we've only got so much time on this planet. I don't know about you. I don't want to waste it doing stupid things that don't matter. I want to spend my time. I want to invest my time on things that create an impact. So I'd love to hear from you how you manage your time, some tips maybe you have. Leave them in the comments below. If you are interested in building a business that can actually free you up to live the life you dream of, to make an impact, release you from that grip that money can so easily place over time, then check out the free training I've got up here and you can learn about exactly how to do that. If you have liked the video, make sure you let me know by hitting that like button below. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that also. Let's crush 2020 together, believing in you, know there's great things ahead. I'll see you in the next one.